Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Batsford. Batsford is a solitaire card game, and what you'll need is two standard 52 card decks. In terms of setting the game up, um, you deal 55 cards into 10 piles. The first pile, and we're looking at first from left to right, right? So this would be 1, 2, 3, so on. The first pile gets one card, the second two, third three, and so on. So the last pile would have 10 cards. This set of piles will be referred to as the tableau. The top card of each pile in the tableau is turned face up, so that there are 10 face-up cards. After dealing cards to the tableau, the remaining cards are set aside to form a stockpile. I also have an empty waste pile beside the stockpile, and you'll have 8 empty foundation piles and 1 empty reserve pile. In terms of playing the game, on the tableau, cards are played in descending order from alternate colors. So this 2 of spades is 1 rank lower than the 3 of hearts, and it is of the opposite color, so we can go ahead and play it like so. Right, so that was just a demonstration there. Whenever a card is moved from one pile of the tableau to another, the face down card beneath it is turned face up. So when we move this 2 of spades, the card beneath it that was face down is turned face up like so. Right, so that would be the 7 of clubs. The top card or a sequential group of cards can be moved between tableau piles. And so it's sort of hard to show here because we don't really have a good example. But when we do, I'll definitely make sure to mention it. But essentially, just like how we moved that 2 of spades there, if you have a group of cards in sequence, right, so we have, let's say, this 3 of hearts and this 2 of spades, we can move them together. We simply have to follow the rule that the 2 cards that are going to be making contact are 1 ring apart and of the opposite color. Right? Do note that if you have an empty pile in the tableau, it can only be filled with a king or a group of cards starting with a king. If, for whatever reason, you would like to deal from the stockpile, you can do so. That will deal 1 card face up to the waste pile, right, at a time. Do note that if you can only draw through the stockpile once, right? Once you draw through the stockpile once, you cannot go through it again. Also note that you have what's your reserve pile here. Originally this was empty when we set up the game. It can be used to hold a king, right? So that would be up to 3 cards. So I could put a king here in the reserve pile, and it would hold it there. You can hold up to 3 kings in the reserve pile, right? If you would like. What's the reasoning behind this? The reasoning behind this is that the king is the last card that gets moved to the foundation pile. And oftentimes in solitaire, people find that the king is what obstructs them. And so in Batsford, this reserve pile has been added to make it a bit easier for the player, because the king is commonly what obstructs your ability to move cards. Also note that foundation piles, right, have to start from ace and get built up to king. And so, just like with any other standard solitaire game, you place cards of the same suit, going increasing, right? Let's just go like that, so it's a bit more, I guess, concise. Do note that you can move cards from the foundation pile back to the tableau for whatever reason if you would like. Also note that the top card from the waste pile can be moved to the tableau, to the foundations, or the reserve. So, game ends once all the cards are moved onto the foundation piles, right? So what are the key takeaways? You can play a group of cards that are in sequential order, or a singular card if it is 1 rank lower and of the opposite color. You can hold up to 3 kings in the reserve pile. You can go through the stockpile once, drawing 1 card at a time to the waste pile. Once you go through the stockpile, you cannot go through it again. The objective of the game is to move all the cards onto the foundation piles. So it's not too complicated. What we'll do now is we'll do a quick gameplay demo. That really sums up the rules there. So let us see what we can do. I'm going to start off by moving this king why it's obstructing that deck there, and we weren't really able to see what we had to do. So now that we have our jack here, might as well move it. We also have a 6. So we have a bunch of 6s and a bunch of 7s here. So that's sort of neat. Although I don't know what that will help us accomplish. Yeah, so we just have a bunch of 6s and a bunch of 7s here. This is sort of unlucky. I think we have every single 6 and 7 in the deck currently present here at the top. So I'm not too sure, right? Probability-wise, that does not happen too often. But that's okay. So, yeah, so this is every single 6 in the entire double deck, and every single 7 in the entire double deck here. Well, no, every single one actually. Most of them though. So that's quite unfortunate, but that's okay. It does limit what we can do though. So definitely keep that in mind. I'm gonna choose to move this 6 rather than that one because I do want to be able to see if the card under here is a card that is beneficial. So it was the Ace of Clubs, right? So that's beneficial to me at least, because we were able to start the second foundation pile for the clubs. What else are we looking at? Well, now we're sort of stuck here, right? Can't really make any movement. This 6 can't really be moved anywhere. Can't really make any movement between these piles anymore. Not really. So now we'll sort of, I guess, go through dealing. Right, we have another king. We'll throw that on the reserve pile, right? We can hold another king there. Now we got a 5. So the 5 is sort of beneficial to have. We'll throw it on the 6 there. And now we have the jack. Can't really do anything with that, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. We have the 8, okay? And so this 8's beneficial, and that will move it on this 9, I guess. But even then, we can move this red, right? We can move this entire pile, this 7, because the 7 and the 8 are the cards making contact, and the 7 is 1 rank lower than the 8 and of the opposite color. That opens up the 4 of diamonds. We'll put that on the. That opens up the 6 of spades. So we just have a bunch of 6s right now, which is sort of weird. But that's happened some. I don't even think that happens sometimes. This is a once in a long time occurrence that I'm seeing here. Okay, so let us see what we can do here. Okay, so 2 of hearts there. That's nice. We can go for the 3 of hearts. I mean, for some reason, we have all of our 6s and 7s in the entire deck over here at the top. So this is quite a weird occurrence here. These 6s and these 7s. Okay. Can we do anything with these? No, not really. Not at all. That 3 of diamonds is beneficial to have. Can't be moved anywhere. Unfortunately. Cannot really keep it, I guess. 4 of hearts. That's nice to have. 5 of diamonds. Throw that right there. 7 of hearts. No. Fortunately, we cannot. Eight. So if we take that 7 of hearts, no, we can't move that there. Okay, what we'll do is we'll move that 7 of hearts there. Okay. We'll then free up that 6. Okay. What that's gonna do is it's a blank pile for us. sort of see if we can make use of it. No. The 10. Okay. You can only start a blank pile with a king, right? So, sort of go ahead and move that onto the jack, I guess. Then we'll go ahead and move this entire group there. 2 of spades. Oh, no, it cannot be used. Cannot be used. As well as the 3 of diamonds here. That can also not be used. 10 of clubs. So as you can see, right, this game in terms of understanding the rules isn't too hard. The demo might get a bit boring here, right, but I am just doing it to demonstrate sort of how the game is played. Nope. I can store that king though. That's what I'll do. 2 of clubs, nice. That's a bit of a good start there. 10 of diamonds, great. 9 of spades is great. Queen of clubs, beautiful. Now I'll go ahead and I'll start that pile down there like so. King of diamonds. Not too worried about that, but we'll go ahead and we'll no, yeah, throw him on the reserve pile. So now we just have ridiculously long foundation piles here. Not too sure if we'll really be able to get anywhere with these. Nice, we got another ace, right? We are only allowed to go through that deck once. Got another ace. So that's nice. That frees up the 9 of clubs, but these are all such high ranking cards that we can't make use of them right now. Oh, we could throw that there. Go ahead. That's the 5. Yep. So as you can see, the game is sort of repetitive, right? The rules are simple. We're just trying our best to build up all the foundation piles as much as we can. And let us sort of see what else we can do here. That's a jack. Oh, we can't place that 10 there, can we? That's unfortunate. 2 of diamonds. It's great to have there. Another ace of hearts. Wonderful. Okay. We can actually go ahead and do that to uncover that card under there. I did not realize that, right? So was not playing too actively here, so that hurt me. That was to my detriment. What else could we really do here? Not much. We'll simply continue playing. 3. It's nice. 4. That's nice. Now we want to try to get that 5. That's what we'll do. At 5, that's also nice. Yeah. Jack. Nope. 8. Yes. So as you can see, right, the game, that's essentially how it's played. There's no point of continuing this even longer because it will just get really, really long. But in terms of setting the game up, right, let's just sort of look here. Right, 55 cards into 10 piles here. The first pile gets 1, second gets 2, third gets 3, and so on. So the last pile will then have 10 cards. This set of piles is known as the tableau. The top card of each pile in the tableau is turned face up so that there are 10 face up cards. After dealing cards to the tableau, the remaining cards are set aside, forming a stockpile. You also have an empty waste pile, as well as 8 empty foundation piles. You also have 1 empty reserve pile, right? The reserve pile can hold up to 3 kings. You can go through the stockpile once. You do need 2 standard 52 card decks for this game. And you can move a pile of cards or a singular card between tableaus if it is 1 rank lower and of the opposite color. The game is won when all the cards are moved onto the foundation piles. So that wraps up how to play Batsford. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry that the demonstration was a bit lackluster, but thank you for watching regardless, and hopefully you can add another card game to your arsenal.